What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video. Today we are gonna take a look at the brand new figure. No, it's brand new, maybe like 4 years ago. Captain Marvel from Avengers Endgame. It's pretty cheap now, and you might be asking yourself, why in the blue hell would you buy this? It's been, I don't know, 4 years. This has been discounted multiple times. And the only thing I can explain to you is I love the end game, and it's cheap. You can, if you know where to look, you can get this for under $150 right now. And there's a few more figures in the end game that I don't have, and one of them is that Tony Stark with the helmet on, the one with his white suit. Always wanted that, but I always didn't want to pay retail for that. Now it's $150. At Big Bad, and I'm really tempted to grab that. There are places where it's like $130, but the shipping will make it $150 as well. So I was just like, all right, I'm gonna get it from Big Bad one of these days. Not yet. I'm holding on to the fact that maybe it'll drop a little bit more. But the reality is, I just love Endgame. That's it. You know, they don't have the best figures. They're a little outdated, honestly. They don't have the rolling eyeball system and all that stuff. But for the right price, they are still hot toys. They're still pretty darn good. And with her, I do have Thanos later on that I could, pose her in multitude of ways. And again, like I said, for the right price, my ideology is why not? I love the movie. Not a big fan of the character, or this look. I have the previous, which I feel like a better Captain Marvel. However, again, it's still a part of the end game. So I'm going to get it in the end game stand. As you can see, she comes with decent amount of accessories. Not the same way as the solo movie Captain. I'm just going to say it out loud now. If you only want one Captain Marvel, I think the solo movie, the deluxe version, is a lot better in terms of bang for your buck. Depending on that, is pretty cheap as well. I think that is like 170 right now, the deluxe at Big Bad. This is just a particular version from a scene in a movie, which is pretty impactful, and it comes with its batteries as well. It's not USB-C as the newer releases are now. And let's take a closer look at these accessories. She doesn't come with a bunch of hands. Now, on the figure itself, it comes with a fisted hands that you are going to use because of her fighting Thanos, and that's mainly that duel on Endgame is what inspired me to get her. And the biggest thing is the price. Not gonna lie, this is more of a, I don't know what this is, kind of like a gesture. Hands that are just kind of like, come here. You put this in her forearm, so it would kind of look like this. Some power effects that she is known for. Again, the other one has more. The previous Captain Marvel. This is one thing that she doesn't have. I believe on the first one is this translucent hands, which shines into the light. And this one, this works like a hand. If you are not familiar with it, it has swirl marks. It looks exactly the same, just different color than on the first one. And then you have this gauntlet, which is damage. As you know, like Peter Parker and her are kind of trying to get this back and forth. This one does light up. It's kind of the same, but not really, as if you have the battle damage Thanos. You could remove the paneling right here in the front. You install the battery, and then you turn it on. It's not as bright. It's on right now. I'm gonna turn off the lights, but you can see it's on. It's not. You can barely see it, honestly. You can see it right there, and maybe I need to turn off more lights. But yeah, it is on, and it's not the battery. It's just the way the lights work. It's just not super bright, and it's okay. I highly doubt you're going to use this. You're probably going to use this in some, once you get Iron Spider, the newer one. I don't know if you pre-ordered the Artisan one. I am sure going to get that. I don't have an Iron Spider right now. I did sell my previous one in anticipation for the new one. You see, this is blocked, so you can't use it for Thanos or or Hulk. Not that you need one because they have their own. But yeah, and then the stand. I like the stand. It doesn't take too much space. You got the flight pole in there. You got the nice design as well. So it works as intended. Now the suit itself is a bit restrictive. I'm not gonna mince words on that. This is an older figure, so it does have that older rubber slash technique that they do have. So the torso itself has plastic. It doesn't have the newer features, the one that we are accustomed to now, and particularly right there, the seam on the shoulders. It doesn't have that same Spider-Man suit where it bounces back type of feel. It still has this glossy, like rubber type, where if you bend it, it would leave a crease almost permanently. It's not a big deal, like I said, especially if you purchase this for the right price. She does have some ankle articulation. Most of her gauntlet, the boots are plastic, even the belt. The sash that she does have wrapped around her waist is like a thin plastic bag sort of feel, you know. Shoulders, the shoulder pads are made out of plastic. Mostly the torso is wrapped in rubber, so you can't really do have any articulation in there. The arms, you can see it is that shiny rubber material. I guess because it's rubber, it's not exactly gonna flake on you in the future, so that might be a good thing, or it still might. I've never seen reports though so far. The head sculpt looks like the same head sculpt from the previous version. She just got a haircut. You know, feels like she's calling the manager here. One piece between the neck and the face, so you don't see the seam, which is, I don't mind. It's just that when she is like flying and all that stuff, you lose that little bit of articulation on her neck. That is the only thing. But other than that, she looks pretty okay. You know, I think the likeness is there, and it looks pretty good. You know, like the hair itself, you can see the glue marks right there on the forehead, but it does work in my opinion. It's pretty good. The eyes, of course, nowadays every single figure has rolling eyeball system. I think the likeness is there. It's not spot on. This is a stern look, and she only comes with one head sculpt compared to the deluxe version of the previous solo movie Captain Marvel. Articulation, this is where it kind of suffers, and the only one connector of the neck to the head obviously makes it a little bit more limited. Also the shoulders and the suit itself is not well articulated. As you can see, it's fighting you back. The rubber is just fighting back. On the shoulders, normally nowadays, it would be separated here and then it would be inserted into the suit itself. That is some plastic suit, but not on this one. So there's a good movement on the elbows. You can still work on the shoulders. You're just gonna have a bunch of bunching and just, you know, a little bit back and forth fighting with the suit itself. But with, you know, the posing that you can generate with this figure, although it's not a whole lot, I think it's enough for what is needed. The legs, I wish it could, you know, see, it's Captain Marvel. With her fight against Thanos, I kind of wanted a little bit more. Just a little bit more, but the suit is really restrictive in terms of posability. They obviously went with a material that is not, you know, not Spider-Man like. The thin rubber, this is one of those thick rubbers that they used in the past. Obviously they've come a long way from that. And look at this, you can barely lift the leg in here, barely. Yeah, it's there. So poses, like this pose right here, I was trying to simulate more of a flying pose, but it's hard, you know, because you need the legs and the torso to simulate that. But you can see how kind of limited you have. So in the price range that you're gonna get this for, just keep in mind, do not pay full price for once. That's I don't think this is being sold at full price anyway. But yeah, this is the type of poses that you can probably push it a little bit more than I do, but it's at your own discretion. This is one of the flying pose, and again, that waist clamp right there. There is a section on her waist where it's more of a plastic that you could use that clamp to clamp on, so you don't damage the suit permanently. But even at that, I still wouldn't recommend you using this for a long period of time. Normally, I would bring this down to her legs and just kind of use that as a support, not even touching the legs, just as a backup, just in case she tilts over. So that means it would, prevent her from falling down. I don't think necessarily you need to clamp this unless you wanted to do a flying pose like this. Again, for the price that it's going for right now, which is ideally under $150. If you damage it, I mean, it's not a big deal, right? Like, there's more expensive figures, and this is her taking off. So like I said, you're gonna have to play with the ankles and knees to simulate that look, because you're not gonna get any help from the torso or the neck. Her looking up, this is as high as you would go. This is the trade-off of not having that seam from the neck to the face, where you do have another ball joint in there. So it's decent enough. Like, she is looking upwards enough for me that it's okay. It's okay, right? Like, again, if I bought it in full price, I would be highly disappointed. Well, I didn't buy it for full price. I would never have done that. And this is her compared to the previous version. As you can see, the swirls are almost the same. A few differences, reverse colors. I kind of like the hair. I think the longer hair captures Brie Larson's likeness a little bit more. But this is a representation for Endgame. And I still love the movie. I'm not going to apologize for that. And this is her wrecked next to Thanos in one of that epic battles that they did have. That's why I'm still excited for the upcoming Scarlet Witch. I didn't even went for the artisan version. I want to recreate that scene as well with Scarlet Witch and also, Iron Spider. Final thoughts on this Captain Marvel. It's not a perfect figure. It really isn't. It's a bad figure that I love the franchise. The head sculpt is nothing special. The entire figure doesn't feel special. But as a character, I feel kind of compelled to have her. That's the only explanation I could have with this figure. I kind of am. I always had this in the back of my mind. Her and that Tony Stark, the Team Suit Stark. I still haven't bought it, but I'm waiting for the right opportunity. It's their Endgame. They're kind of they hold a special place in my heart. The figure itself, not that great. You can buy better figures than this for the same price. I don't, probably not. But almost the same price as 3.0, So, hey, Hot Toys. I'll take a Hot Toys figure any day of the week than a 3.0, especially from a license like the Avengers Endgame. Would I recommend this? I'd recommend the other one first, the original movie. If you only want one Captain Marvel. Now, if you are like myself, who's just crazy enough to pick up a 3-4-year-old figure from a movie that you actually do love, well, this is the perfect time because she's dirt cheap. Is she gonna get any lower? Perhaps you can wait a little bit longer, but it's up to you. I didn't want to. I was excited for it, plus the tariffs and all that stuff. I want to get something that's in stock, so went for this. I'm probably gonna go for the Team Stark next. But let me know in the comments. Do you hate this? I don't. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.